Right, I don't know about you, mate, but this is going to be a bit of an interesting discussion. Yeah, let's have a little chat about Maccabi Tel Aviv. Yeah, so obviously we're not pros about the Israeli league, but let's have a chat about what to expect from Villa. Try and touch on Maccabi. I do want to try and stay away from the politics, but I think we'll probably touch on it briefly because sadly you can't not talk about it. Ah, let's get
Yeah,
into it. Right, welcome back to the latest episode of B6 and Beyond. So you are here with me and Cory tonight to discuss Maccabi Tel Aviv. Just a reminder, we do have an ongoing giveaway for either match tickets or a shirt of your choice. That you need to do to enter is hit that subscribe button. We give away that every 500 subscribers, and we are getting close to the next giveaway, which is coming up to the 1,000 subscriber mark. So make sure to hit that subscribe and don't miss out. So yeah, Cory, over to you, mate. What do you expect from the game apart from a riot outside Villa Park?
I think focusing purely on football at the moment, I think obviously it's going to be a rotational squad. That's a given. I think we need to see certain players get minutes. I think it's a game that, especially after losing two go-ahead Eagles, it's now a must-win really, just to get back on track in the Europa League. I know people will say, well, we've still got 4 or 5 games left, however many it is, so it's not really a must-win. But at the same time, we don't want to start falling behind.
It's a must win, mate. At this point, I would say so. I'd say if you lose this game, then it starts. Don't get me wrong, we'd still finish in the top 24, but you want to be finishing in the top 8 to give ourselves the best opportunity of progressing further into the tournament. Not that that means particularly everything and anything. Look at Liverpool, for example, last season when they finished top of the Champions League, and then they was out, before we were. But yeah, I would say what you've just said there's a fair assessment. I think it is a must-win game.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, listen, like you touched on before, we don't know a lot about Israeli football. We don't know a lot about Maccabi Tel Aviv. I know that they won the Maccabi derby on the weekend. That's about it. I don't know
Well,
what to
they're
expect
second in the
from them.
league. Second in the league at the moment. They've won 5 out of 5 away from home. At home they've dropped some points. I think they've won 4 out of 5. I think at home. So in terms of their standard, they're a very good outfit, to put it very bluntly. But realistically, in terms of comparing that to the Premier League, it's not comparable. And realistically, if Aston Villa turn up, we should win the game.
Yeah.
But we all know what we said against the go-ahead Eagles, so it's not always that easy. I would just say at Villa Park, it shouldn't be even a question.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think, listen, obviously, we may as well just get it out with as quick as possible because it is going to be the elephant in the room. Obviously, they're not going to have any fans there. The Maccabi Tel Aviv, they're not going to have any fans. So you'd like to think that those Villa fans that are going can get behind the boys, and hopefully, fingers crossed for everyone who is going, there is no trouble or anything that stops people from enjoying the game and potentially ruining any chances of sort of Villa just going and basically being what should be a rehearsed win, if we're being honest.
Just to jump in there, just to correct myself, it's 4 wins and 1 draw away from home. That was not 5 wins out of 5 because I've just double checked that. And at home, they've won 3 and drew 1, so they've not lost in the league this season at home. So that's where they were. But yeah, I agree with you. It will feel like just home fans in the stadium, and I think Villa will win comprehensive. What I will pick you up on and have a discussion on is just on your point about like the rotated side and how much of it's going to be rotated. With obviously Bournemouth this weekend, and then we go into the international break, needing to win. How many changes do we really see? I can see us going quite strong. I can, to be honest with you.
Well, realistically, for me, looking at the squad, I think Marco Bizot has to start. I think, to be honest with you, he should be starting in the Premier League at this point, not just in the Europa League. I think if he starts against Maccabi and keeps a clean sheet, I don't think it's going to happen, but I would be happy to see him start against Bournemouth.
But I'll play devil's advocate here. Is that reactionary because of the Liverpool mistake, or because I don't? Look. I'm one of the ones that says get Martinez out, and I really do want him to leave the football club, but I don't particularly think he's been that bad since he's come back in. I thought he was
I
really
don't.
good against Spurs.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's been bad. And obviously,
Good
I
against
gave
Man
him a
City
shout
as
out for
well.
the City game. For me, I just think it's affecting the way the team are playing. I think it's affecting stuff like he's very much turned into himself. Someone made a point of his Instagram story
Oh yeah, saw that. Yeah,
or Instagram after it was, I don't lose, I will always learn. Whereas obviously
learn.
before it used to be we, us, this sort of thing. He doesn't really talk about Villa anymore.
Actually,
He's
a
got that.
dickhead. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that mentality, I think. And listen, to be honest with you, you could have made the argument to say that even when Martinez was out for those couple of games, that Marco Bizot probably could have kept his place then. But I'd like to say, he's someone I'd definitely like to see start. Obviously, Cash is going to be playing because Garcia just is nowhere to be seen.
No Lindelof, mate.
Potentially Lindelof, actually, yeah.
Big Swede, brought back.
But again, we've got no Mings now. Mings is out injured, so
Could we see Bogard at set brought back?
we could see Bogard. But then who's going to play centre half? Because it'd be nice to see. It'd be nice to see Konza and Powell rested, but obviously we can't do that because Mings is injured. Left back will be Maatsen. We know that. That's a gimme. Then your two DMs. Could that potentially be Bogard in there with?
Is Tielemans back yet? I know it's close.
I don't think so. I think he started training this week, so I imagine it would be Bournemouth if he is back this week.
They might just leave it until after the international break now.
Potentially Ross Barkley starts. I think that the key one for me is there's two players who I think have to start, and I want to see start.
Let me guess. Sancho and Marlon.
Close. Sancho and Elliott.
Elliott won't start, mate.
I do want to see Marlon play. I want to see Marlon up front. But I do want to see Harvey Elliott playing. I just think I know you're shaking your head. I think at this point, listen. I watched yours and Sam when you did the podcast and stuff like that, and I think every Villa fan's been saying it. What does Evan Gasson actually offer? Genuinely, he can make a few tackles and stuff, but we didn't sign a right back. We signed a right winger / centre forward who was meant to score goals and beat people.
He'll start.
And this is the issue. He shouldn't be starting, and he probably will, he shouldn't be.
Elliot I will eat my words and I will clip this up, do whatever, tell me I'm a knob, but I'll be very, very surprised if we see him before January. I am convinced he's either going back to Liverpool or there is some sort of loophole in PSR where if he plays the 10 games before January, we have to pay the 35 million fee before January, before the turn of the new year, and that's the reason why we're not paying it. I'm pretty sure I read something on those lines. Is if it's between January to January, it counts towards UEFA PSR or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Again, I could be completely wrong here, and this is just me making up some suspicious the way we're looking for now. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, it's just
go on.
There's got to be something in it.
Yeah.
Why else is he not playing?
Exactly. It's just that thing, really, where it's like, don't get me wrong, I love Unai Emery, and I shouldn't have to say that I love Unai Emery. I think everyone loves it, but it's
conspiracy theory. That was the word I was looking for.
That's the word, yeah. But it is. It's just like it just seems so weird. Like you've got a player there that was under 23s player of the tournament. He was a player who was playing for Liverpool. Obviously not loads, but he was playing for Liverpool. He was a key part of their squad a couple of years ago when he was like 19, 20, and he's a real talent. And to be honest with you, at the start of the season, he was probably a lot better than some of the players that we had sort of turning out in those positions. And now that he's not played for a while, you just have to say, at what point does he get that rebuttal that Unai Emery keeps going on about? Because he keeps saying if he keeps working, he'll get his chance. It's like, but when? You've got Gesson who looks like to quote Mr. Bowman, he looks like he runs in Timberlands and jeans.
Oh, did he say that?
He said it about
Gyökeres. I thought you meant he said it about Gesson as well. Let's not mention that. Please not mention that prick on this podcast, please.
But yeah, he like. I don't know, to be honest. It's one of them where it's really frustrating seeing a really good talent go to waste. A player that you touted from pretty much day one of the summer window, saying you want to see him at Villa. We finally get him at Villa, and
do you know what really, like, again, which plays and adds weight to my conspiracy theory? Like, if there was not this whole situation about paying this 35 million fee or whatever early, and then it, stinging the club for the next financial year in terms of UEFA, I would think there would be some sort of murmurings in the media from Harvey Elliott's camp, and we've heard absolutely nothing. And every time you hear of Emery speaking or you hear of Elliott speaking, it's always positive things. I really wouldn't be surprised if Emery said, like, look, we really want to get you in the squad, but this is the situation. Come January, you will be one of our first players on the team sheet, but we just need to get through till then. And like, realistically, if he knows that he is going to be one of the main men from January till the end of the season and past that, there might be a bit more of a bit more leeway with it from Harvey Elliott. Again, purely speculating from me, but
I was going to say my only sort of argument to that would be, or caveat would be, he's played 5 times already, so it's like,
he's got to play another 5, and then that's when it gets activated, isn't it?
No, I get that completely. I just mean because he's already played 5, it's just one of them where it's like, why would you use those first 5 if that's the case straight away and then not be able to play him sort of when we're getting towards Europa League and the run-in with more games and stuff? You'd think to begin with he'd say, we're not going to play you for the first few weeks, and then as it's getting close to that sort of Christmas time, we'll play you for those games close to Christmas, and then... But like you say, it's all conspiracy. No one actually knows. For all we know, it could be that Harvey Elliott told Unai Emery he's ugly or something, and then Unai Emery's like, right, you're not playing, son.
Could be that Evan Gesson has nudes of Unai Emery, and that's why he has to play over him.
Could be.
Who knows? Anyway, so we're thinking these are potentially cash. Could probably Conser and Powell. I don't see anything else, especially the international break. I don't know who else would come in.
The only ones it could be Lindelof and Bogard.
You ain't gonna go that rotated,
no.
Surely. Maatsen at left back, 2 defensive midfielders, probably.
Bogard definitely.
If he's not at right back,
I can see a world where I think Bogard will definitely play, and if he's playing as a full-back or centre-back, then I think Barkley will start in the middle with Onana.
What about McGinn central?
Potentially.
Do you know what? Like, trying to pick something out of the air, because it could literally be anything. I find these games very difficult to predict. Like, Premier League games, quite comfortable, but a game like this against a weaker side, I find it quite challenging. I don't think Watkins will play. I think he'll be on the bench. But again, he could play. He could give him a run out, because he needs a goal, he needs confidence, and ultimately against a team like that, a shit team at home, he should get chances. He should get a goal. That's the biggest thing for Villa, and the most concerning thing for me is just our lack of creativity, and it still hasn't really.
Well, we bottom 3 in all creative stats this year, aren't we? In the Premier League,
absolutely ridiculous.
To be honest with you, I think just slightly veering away, I think, talking of Ollie Watkins, I think one thing that could help him massively is I don't see him being in the England squad for this international break. I think Danny Welbeck will be there. There's speculation of Danny Welbeck being recalled. And if he's not in the England squad, I think that'll be a massive kick up the arse to Watkins to say, you might not go to the World Cup, son, so you need to book your ideas up.
No, he doesn't deserve it, to be honest with you.
Well, this is the thing, he doesn't at the moment. It'd be alright if he was contributing with assists like he has done in previous seasons, but he's not recorded an assist all season.
Does Rodgers go? I think he does, surely.
Rodgers definitely goes. Rodgers has been phenomenal for us the last few games, and he was going when he wasn't playing well for us. So, And obviously Konza goes.
Konza should be one of the first names on the team sheet, mate, at the moment.
Absolutely. Right,
so left wing, Sancho
I think Sancho has to start. He played brilliantly against Liverpool, from what I heard.
It could be Ross Barkley and Bogard. I centre mid.
Do you think he'd go that weak though? Similar to what?
They should have enough to get through that game.
To be fair, we could probably play the under-23s and it would be close. No offence to Maccabi, but
you could play McGinn as lot as 10 potentially to give you a bit more legs in midfield, and then it's going to be Gesson on the right, and then Marlon up top most likely.
Yeah,
I'm talking myself out of doing the game here. With everything going on and they're potentially really, really poor. Listen, I will go. I'll be supporting the boys for a thick and thin, but Christ alive. So,
I will not. So if anybody wants a ticket,
yeah, let's have a quick chat about the potential off the field palaver. So obviously, there's the protests outside of the North Stand in the pavilion, as it's being called by the shall we say the Muslim contingency that wants to turn up at Villa Park to protest against Israel and Israeli people and Israel whatever, Palestine, all that stuff. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not educated enough to have an opinion on that. Not that I'm not educated on thick, it's more so I'm not educated on that field personally. I'll be very transparent and honest. Don't massively care. It doesn't really affect me. I don't have any interest in getting involved in that sort of stuff. I'm going to the game to watch Aston Villa versus Maccabi Tel Aviv. When there was, people talking about should their fans be allowed in the football stadium, should they be allowed to come to Birmingham, etc., etc. Personally, if they were allowed, I wouldn't have cared. Or if they was to come to the game, like with all due respect, the police force in the UK have policed Aston Villa versus Birmingham City, our local rivals, before. So as long as the external parties, the Muslim contingency in the area would have not come to the stadium and it was just their fans coming to the stadium. Personally, I don't think there would have been an issue. But naturally, with how tense the whole situation is because of Israel, because of the Palestine situation, there's clearly people with massive beliefs around that situation, and it's caused this potential conflict. Now, and to be honest with you, with some of the things I've read online, and this is the most concerning thing for me, so any Villa fans that see this, it'll probably end up getting clicked up for TikTok. Stay safe, be aware, be vigilant, because ultimately there could be some really, really dodgy stuff going on that night. You're hearing about English nationalists turning up at the ground to basically defend whatever. I don't know. It's just please, just stay away. All of you, please stay away. There's going to be children there going to watch the football. I find it really, really. I've done TikTok on this the other day. I find it really disappointing that football fans, Aston Villa fans, are being made to feel like they can't go to the game because of these protests and what's happening. It's absolutely ludicrous, and no football fan should feel that they. And what really pisses me off is these sections of people, and I'm not going to just say the Muslims, because you obviously got the two that keep popping up on social media wearing Villa shirts, because there is another side of it. I'm led to believe there's a guy pretending to be Aston Villa, Israel club, whatever. So there's people from both sides pretending to be Aston Villa fans and trying to use the name of the club for their own personal gain, and it just doesn't sit right with me. Aston Villa as a football club, Aston Villa football fans, vast majority of us don't want to know anything about this whole protest. And I hope that what I'm saying is reiterated within the fan base, because the vast majority of us want to go there just to watch the football. I don't know what your views are on that. I hope I've not just butchered that, but that's my view on the situation.
No, I completely agree. Listen, obviously, I'm very similar to you, but I don't know a lot about the situation that's going on. I try and avoid politics where I can, and there might be people who pick up on this and say, "Oh, well, you need to educate yourself," and to that I just say, "Do one. I'll do what I want," sort of thing. But also at the same time, I'm also one of those people where I'm not going to the game. I've bought my ticket. I bought the ticket in the bundle through the membership side of things. I bought a ticket to the game, and I'm not going purely off the fact that I'm travelling a big distance to get to that game, and the last thing I want to be doing is travelling there, having to be involved in altercations that have nothing to do with me and I have no interest in. And potentially when I'm going on the train home, something like that, people...
You don't know, something could happen.
Because I'm wearing my
trains get cancelled.
Exactly that. For me, it was just a case of I didn't feel safe, and I shouldn't not feel safe going to a football game. That shouldn't be the case. And I think, like you say, there's many people online. There's obviously those two Asian lads who are wearing the Villa shirts and stuff. One who actually said he was a Man United fan growing up, but he's always loved Villa. They're trying to wear the shirt to claim they're part of the club, and at the end of the day, I'm not saying it because of any religion or anything like that. They're not part of this club. The same with like you say, there's the Israeli guy who is saying that he's part of the Israeli Villa Fan Society or something, which I don't know much about that. Apparently that's not a true thing. I don't know. There's a lot of people trying to get involved in the political... Yeah, there's a lot of people trying to get involved in the political side of it and using Aston Villa's name, which is something that we shouldn't be doing. Villa shouldn't be having to put up with it being our name and stuff like that. And then you've obviously got other people like Tommy Robinson decided he wants to try and get involved for no reason with his Israeli flag and this, that, and the other. Wow. And then when he gets arrested, he'll go off to Dubai.
Again, I'm not going to go into too much of my political views, and I'm sure you don't really want to get into that, so that's why I kind of cut that there. But what I will say is, just keep politics out of football in general. We should not, me and you now, we should not be having this conversation on this podcast. We should be here to talk about the football game, and that is it, because we're not clued up on it. We are football fans, and that is all our podcast is for. But yet we sat here like a pair of pricks on a Tuesday night, talking about the potential of something happening at Villa Blues. That's where it should be happening at, not fucking Villa and Maccabi Tel Aviv. Sorry, my French, but it's just incredibly frustrating. And, me sat here now listening to you, a fellow Aston Villa fan, a friend of mine, saying that he doesn't want to go to the game because he doesn't feel safe at the game, is absolutely disgusting, in my opinion.
That's the thing, and like I said, I think it's, like I say, we'll get rid of the political side of it in terms of, like, okay, what I said, I probably shouldn't say either one way or the other. But there shouldn't be the external factor. This, at the end of the game, this is a game of football. It's not England versus Israel. It's not Palestine versus Israel. It is Aston Villa versus Maccabi Tel Aviv. That's all it is. It's a football game in the Europa League where 22 men kick a ball on a pitch for 90 minutes, and whoever wins gets 3 points, and they never see each other again. That's all it is. That, in simple words, that is what it is. And I don't like to use the term, but it is a game. That's what it is. It's not a case of, if we win, that means that so and so is better than so and so, or if they win, that means that they're better than us. It's just football. And like you say, it shouldn't be the case that we're having to have a conversation where I'm not going to the game for certain reasons, you're going to the game, but also part of you is like, is it worth going to the game? It should be a case of, I've spent 50 quid on that ticket, you spent 50 quid on that ticket, we go and watch the game, and then we can moan about whether it was worth it if Villa win or not.
Mm-hmm. Right, well, I think on that note, we'll end it there, because we haven't really got much else to talk about, really. We've just discussed the team, we've discussed the potential drama off the pitch. Last one to end on, actually, score prediction for the game. I'm going to go 3-0 Villa.
I'll go 3-1 just because we don't seem to keep a clean sheet.
Kept a clean sheet against Manchester City.
Yes, I'm aware of that, Ben. I just...
Right, on that note, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on it. And like I say, Villa fans, please stay safe and be vigilant, because, like I say, it could get a bit silly at the ground, and the last thing I want is any of my fellow fans getting hurt at the ground. Final one from us, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.